Welcome to Meier TV. My name is Susanna from Meier Real Estate, and I'm really delighted that we're here today with you. We are going to run a number of videos in regards to various aspects of retirement, downsizing, first home buyers, and we will be interviewing a number of experts in the area. So I'm really excited to have Robert Stevenson from CPB Financial Services with us today. Robert will be actually be doing a number of interviews with us. So we'll have three segments with Robert covering baby boomers and Generation X and Y like myself, and also the young millennials and digital babies, and trying to help people in terms of their financial planning. Welcome, Robert.
Good morning, Susanna.
Good morning.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you and your clients. Looking at superannuation, self-managed superannuation funds, also retirement planning, getting people ready for that next stage in their life, and also estate planning. So there's a full range of services that we provide our clients.
And CPB have been in the business for over 20 years, is that right?
Yeah, we established in Port Adelaide in the western suburbs approximately 25 years ago, and have had a steady following of clients both locally and interstate.
Fantastic. So I guess I just want to dwell a little bit more into what financial planners do, because a lot of my friends, family and clients, they actually don't know how you can assist them with various aspects. Can you go a little bit more into more details for us?
Okay, good question, because financial planning means different things to different people, but I like to think that as a financial planner, I'm a client's project manager. So really ascertaining from the client what they're looking for. Some clients come to me and all they want to do is buy or sell some shares, whereas other clients are looking to take that next step and retire. Have they got enough money to do that? And more importantly, how long is their money going to last? And how does perhaps Centrelink fit into the equation of providing some core income for them? So lots of questions come out of the interview, and it's my job to hone in to find out exactly what the client needs versus what they want. And also, I suppose I see my role as, for a better word, keeping them on track, but also outlining to them what some of the obstacles might be in them achieving their goals.
Fantastic. So I guess what I wanted to sort of speak to you today is about people of Generation X and Y, if you like, people of my sort of era. And we have gone through a series of uncertainty during our times. You know, we came through when we had high interest rates in the 90s, then we had the dot-com share market crash, then we had unemployment, they had high unemployment, and then we witnessed the GFC during our time, which is a lot to take.
Yes.
But I guess now a lot of us have jobs and we are earning some income, whether we're self-employed or not. So what are the areas that we should be sort of considering in terms of investing? Should we invest in shares, in cash, in property? What are your suggestions?
Okay, well I think if I look at what people's needs have been over time, we're wanting more out of our money. Okay, if I look at what my grandparents went through, and they would have been in their mid-90s, life was pretty simple. They went to work, they came home, they retired. The husband was in the shed and the wife was perhaps in the garden or doing the baking. And then the baby boomers come along, and their lifestyle is they want more. Travel becomes a lot more available. They want to eat out a lot more. And then the Gen X, Gen Y and the Millenniums are this now culture, and it puts, I suppose, financial pressure on them. So I suppose it's important to match the strategy of the goal and objective with the asset that you're buying. So I wouldn't buy shares if I was saving to go on a holiday in 2 years' time, because there's that volatility aspect. It's really about having a mixture of cash, fixed interest, property, Australian shares and international shares, and then perhaps segmenting your portfolio based on how long the money is going to be invested for, so that you don't get those surprises when you're saving for a goal and the market drops and then you can't realise that goal or objective. So really working out what the goal is and then matching the time frame and the asset to that goal.
Fantastic. That's a very good advice. We should always start planning at least for it, shouldn't we, for retirement? What about our clients who have no kids, or it could be double income or single income, but they have no children? What would you suggest in terms of for them, in terms of planning?
Okay, when a couple are starting out, generally what they've done is they've gone and bought a house and have got a mortgage. They're working, and whether they realise it or not, their most important asset is their ability to earn income, because what that income does for them is it provides them with a lifestyle. So one of the first strategies I talk to clients about is, have they got their income protected? And I suppose a lot of clients come back to me and say, well, I've got work cover. That's good to a point, but unfortunately most illnesses or accidents don't actually happen within the workplace. Coupled with that is the fact that work cover, or as it's known today, Return to Work SA, there's been a lot of legislative changes that have come through in the last couple of years, which has really changed the dynamics of how work cover works. I've had some clients that had been on work cover for 4, 6, 10 years, but now the government is putting a cap on work cover payments of 2 years. So what happens after that? You have to be 30% impaired in order to get a payment past that. So what I focus on with my clients is making sure that if they're unable to work through sickness or accident, they've got someone else that will front up and keep paying their income from, say, 30 days right up until retirement, if their illness or accident is severe enough, and also provide superannuation benefits as part of the income protection cover. Some people will say to me, well, I've got income protection inside my superannuation, and I'll say to them, well, what does it cover you for? How long does it cover you for? Can they change the definitions on you retrospectively? Is it a cover that each time your circumstances change, you've got to reapply to have that cover upgraded? So there's lots of unknowns out there as far as what you're covered for, and it's about having the peace of mind knowing that the insurance that you've got today is going to serve you moving forward as well, so that you can keep paying your bills. Because let's face it, these days when a couple buy their first house, they generally stretch the budget. If one can't work through sickness or accident, the responsibility falls on the remaining partner that's working. Centrelink aren't going to front up and pay any payments for them. So it's an important issue.
It's very important, and I think most of us actually don't read our policies. We don't actually know what we're covered for,
no,
regardless of which insurance, and that's really important as well. Yes. Yeah. What about another area that we all put off and don't want to talk about is the wills and estate planning? Yeah. What should we do in that regard?
Well, anyone over the age of 18 needs to have a will. Okay, it's interesting that 45% of Australians don't have a will, and it's probably because Australians, like it or not, have this mentality of she'll be right, mate. And so it's really a discussion that we don't like to have, because it tests our mortality. So wills, I suppose if people don't have a will and they die, there's a prescribed formula. It's called the rules of intestacy, and it's different for each state in South Australia. It doesn't necessarily mean that your spouse is going to get 100% of your estate, because if there's children involved, they will get a certain amount. Then with the change in family situations of today, where we've got blended families, second marriages, we've got estranged children, we've got all sorts, it becomes increasingly more important. And then it's important to know which assets actually form part of your estate, because not all assets will. And I suppose to cap it off from a wills point of view is that because we are very transient, these days, and we live in lots of different jurisdictions, and I don't just mean Australia. We often spend time overseas. We may have assets overseas. We really need to have a will in that overseas country as well. So it deals with the different legalities across borders. And then I suppose what clients need to be cognitive of is that they need to have powers of attorney. So if they are unable to manage their own financial affairs or don't want to while they're still alive, then someone else can step in and do that for them. And from an estate planning point of view, there's lots of different strategies that you can use in order to put your beneficiaries in a better position than what they might have been if you'd done nothing.
Right.
So that's the bottom line.
Important, yeah. I guess the other area that many people, and I speak to a lot of people at my age and younger, and we talk about salary sacrifice, and even though it's been around for a long time, not many people are doing it, or they don't actually know what is the benefit of doing it. What is it, and what are the benefits of doing it?
Salary sacrifice is a form of saving where the employee puts their hand up and says to the boss, I want to put some money into my superannuation that is a pre-tax contribution. So what happens is if you're earning $50,000 a year and you've got excess cash flow and you think, well, I could forego $5,000 out of my salary and put that into superannuation. Well, you'd be on a 34.5 cent in the dollar tax bracket. What you're doing there is you're exchanging that 34.5 cent in the dollar tax bracket for 15 cents in the dollar tax bracket. The issue with superannuation is that you can't get it out until you meet a condition of release. Or for some people, I should say, is condition of release is age 56, because the government is slowly but surely increasing the preservation age from the old rule of age 55, and my generation will be age 60 before I can get access to my superannuation. So you've got to be prepared to put the money in and lock it away for an extended period of time before you can get it out. So yeah, a good strategy. Most of the clients that I see start doing salary sacrifice after the age of 50 because their income's been pulled in lots of different areas. I mean, you've got the mortgage, you've got the kids, you might be helping out your parents as well financially. So it's really probably a 50s plus strategy. Something that I come across quite often with salary sacrifice is, especially with government employees or not-for-profit employees, such as people that work for charities, is they get a little bit confused about salary sacrifice for superannuation or salary sacrifice for what we call fringe benefits tax items. Now, salary sacrifice to superannuation is not a fringe benefits tax item. So you can actually do that in addition to any salary sacrifice that you're doing for fringe benefits tax items, such as a motor vehicle or other items that you might be packaging as part of your salary.
Impact the employers. So I guess some of the smaller businesses could encourage that as well. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic, and I'm really excited that you're giving us extra time with the other segments. I hope this has been useful for our listeners. I'm sure it has been. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, Susanna.
Thank you, Robert.